Julie, I have a word to say to you. I talked to your teacher today. We need to talk. What do you think your teacher said to me? Today was parent-teacher conferences, and I got to speak to Abby, Julie, Russell, Chad's teacher, so 4. I didn't talk to Sherry's teacher, and Eve is not in school yet. I'm going to sit the kids down and tell them what's up. All right, who wants to go first?
I want to get
You all want to go first?
I want to get this over with. I'm downstairs first.
Okay, Julie, we'll go first. Oh, I need to grab the papers. So the teachers left me with all of this schoolwork that the kids have done, and I want to go over it with them because they have some feedback. Okay, here we go. You want to do it in here? And are you okay doing this on camera? Okay, here we go. First of all, your teacher said you are a delight. You love to participate. You always raise your hand. I asked her if she had a problem with you talking up in class, and she said that she didn't. You make friends very easily. You seem to pay attention, and you try to stay on task your best. You did get a little behind the day you missed school, but then you got caught right back up again. So she's not worried at all about that. There's one thing that concerned her. Reading level, you're at a P, which is exactly the end of 3rd grade, and you're in 4th grade now, right? So it would be nice if you just read a lot, because by the end of the year, the goal is for you to be at a T. So the reading level is not worrisome. It just means you need to do a little more reading. Can you do that for me? Mm-hmm. Okay. And that wasn't her concern. She said, I'm not at all concerned about that. She's not worried at all. But she did say, you guys made this goal setting paper, and you said, my goal is to get 100% on all of my problem set papers. And she said that nobody gets 100% the first time. I just want to make it very clear that it's okay not to get 100%, and it's okay to make mistakes. But then when you make mistakes, to look at it and go, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? Because mistakes actually teach us. Making mistakes is a teaching tool if we let it be. You are doing awesome, but just know it's okay to make mistakes. Do you believe me? I'm very proud of you. I love you.
Me too.
Next! All right, how do you think you did in school?
Good.
Yeah, your teacher said that you are a very extremely well-behaved child who is very well-mannered and polite. You always raise your hand. You always wait your turn. You just don't complain. The most important thing that I think that she said about you was that you make friends very easily.
My favorite friend, their names were Dieter and Charles.
And you know what she said?
What?
She said that his mom had said that he kind of has a hard time making friends, but that there's this boy in the class that just makes really good friends with him, and his name is Russell. That's what she said. And she said that this other boy, one of the boys in the classroom, has some birth defects on his fingers, and so he doesn't have a fingernail. And one of the girls had pointed out this to the kid. Oh, you don't have a fingernail. And you had called across the room, said, well, that's okay. We still like him and he's still our friend. And that's just really mature of you to stand up and just say, that's all right. You can be different and I'll still be your friend. So thank you for going above and beyond and finding someone who could use a friend. I think Russell really is special in that way. So here are the reading levels. At the end of 1st grade, at the end of kindergarten, you're at a D, and in the beginning of 1st grade, you should be at an E. You tested at a D, so if you could just bump up your reading a little bit, that would really, really help. Can you do some more reading with me? And I'm going to sit and do more reading with you. That's it. Do you have any questions for me? All right, who's next? While Russell goes and gets Abby, I'll give you a little update on Chad. Chad's personality, every single one of his teachers has said this about him. They say Chad has a very powerful personality. Because he's a very powerful person. When he's around people, people do what he wants them to do. People are very easily influenced by what Chad does. And he's just learning to be mature and use that power for good instead of to be kind of the rebel in class, because it's not the popular thing when you're a teenage boy to be using your power to be the teacher's pet, or like however they say, but he's learning. Academic wise, he's doing great. There's no problems there. He's really, really applying himself, and his attitude, it's getting better. It's so much better than last year. He's just really, really doing great. I have no worries about him. He's continuing to improve. Okay, Abby, your turn. How do you think your parent-teacher conferences went?
Not good.
Really?
No, my grades are terrible.
He did say that you missed, maybe you thought you turned it in, but he said there is a missing history assignment and maybe a literature or spelling assignment. Okay. Did you know that? How come it's not been handed in yet?
I don't know. I know I handed in all my work.
He said it didn't get turned in. So you'll need to get those handed in. And he sent them home with me so we can do it together, okay? No worries there. He said that you really love being in school and you're always listening. He said that when he reads aloud, he knows that you're paying attention, because when he asks a question and he calls on you, you usually have an answer for him. You are very easy to get along with, and you make friends very easily, and you're always kind. He says you're a sweetheart and you're playful and fun, which are all really great things. The only concern I have is spelling. Spelling is not a big concern, but big. Okay, let me just cut to the chase. You're behind on your reading.
Reading?
A lot. Your reading level is at a 4th grade level.
Well, I'm good at reading my mind, but I'm not that good when I read out loud.
And I suggested, and I told the teacher, I said, I suggested to Abby she read aloud. What do you think of that advice? And he said that that's really good advice, because what it does is it forces your body to physically pay attention to what you're reading too, because your mouth is moving and speaking. You need to ask questions as you're reading. So as you're reading, you need to say, who is this talking about? Where am I in the story? Why did the character do this? You're the one I need to work with the most, which is okay. Do you guys remember in the summertime, Julie pretty much failed her math class? She got 16 out of 100. It was really bad. But she wasn't discouraged. We got her the help she needed, and she worked on math all through the summer. And you know what? She retook the math test, and she's been getting 100% on all of her math tests now. So if you're having a hard time in school, and I'm talking to you who are watching my video right now, if you are failing in school, it's not the end of the world. You may have gotten in trouble by your parents or teacher, but do not get discouraged. I've had lots of kids fail. Chad failed several classes last year, and he's getting all A's this year. Julie failed last year, and she's coming back. She's got A's now in her math class. And you haven't failed, but you're getting you're getting lower and lower, and you are going to eventually fail if you don't get it back up to where it needs to be. And I'm going to help you, and I'm going to give you all of the resources you need. But the real change needs to be in your head. You need to be really focused. You need to be a little more intense about the time you're putting into it. Can you do it? Come on. Tell me how you guys are doing in school. How do you feel you're doing in your classes? I know a lot of people don't end up using a college degree, but I always think of going to school as not for the degree, not for the future of going to college, but just because I want to be learning my whole life. And I'm still learning. I'm still reading books, and I want you to know that it's important to me to learn.
Read Children's Homer. Best book ever.
Not to be confused with Homer Simpson. It's a different Homer.
It's a different Homer.
Although Homer Simpson is pretty cool. I think The Simpsons is very smartly written. Tamako! This was a pretty heavy video, you guys, but I think it was important to make because I want my kids to know that education is one of my very top priorities. They are my top priority. And education is part of the way they are going to thrive in their lives. Whether they go to college or not, or whether they get a job that requires a college degree or not, that really doesn't matter to me. I really don't care about that. But what I do care is that my kids know that they are capable of learning. And if they're not good at something, they can be. You can be good at anything. You just, if you want to and if you put your mind to it. And I want you to know that. That's why it was also important for me to make this video, is I want you to know that if you're not good at something, you can be. And we just need to access to the right resources sometimes. And we just, most importantly, we just have to decide and be intense about learning it. Thanks for watching. I seriously don't know what you've been doing. Goodbye. It's a beautiful life. Goodbye.